Unless you have sustained a severe head injury, you will be well aware that a review is a subjective opinion. As brilliant as I obviously am, I can never be a herald for objective truth, and one of the biggest problems with a subjective opinion is association. For instance, when I think of Mind the Buzzcocks, the BBC music quiz panel show, it's okay, it's quite old, it was made long before the mass televisual diarrhea of panel shows, I can't help but think of Simon Amstel as the host. Given that I was a 90s child, my first experience of seeing Buzzcocks was with Simon Amstel in the chair. Even though there have been about 16 series with Mark Lamar and a series of random faces, I still think Amstel. Which means I always say that he was my favourite host. But if I had been born just a few years before, I may have hated the bastard. Having said all that, I don't think it's too far from objective truth to say that Buzzcocks has been a load of old shit over the last few series. After Amstel departed, the show went the Have I Got News For You route of different host every show with the same mixed results, but the last guest host series in particular was a bad one. I mean, Peter Andre as a host? Really? Dizzy Rascal? You used to make fun of these twats, Buzzcocks. What happened to you? In the previous few series, there were some good guest hosts. Lee Mack, Adam Buxton, Robert Webb. Another good guest host was Rod Gilbert, who took over the show last series. But it seems that when Amstel left, he took the vast majority of the viewing public with him, because now after 18 years this show is to be cancelled, something that didn't really surprise me, but does make me feel sorry for Rod Gilbert. His series was stronger than the two before it, so while the show ends on a high, I worry that he may get some of the blame. An inherent problem with a guest-hosted panel show is that it adds too many variables. The quality of the show is based on the quality of the guest panellists, but having a guest host adds another unknown, and getting a bad host can ruin the show more than a bad guest. Although two contestants through all of this unknown are the two captains, the mighty Bush's Noel Fielding and the brilliant Phil Jupitus. But panel shows are always somewhat hit and miss, and having two good regulars isn't enough to save a show whose scale has been dipping ever closer to the miss side for the last few years. In fact, with a large drop of viewers, the news that Buzzcocks is being cancelled will surprise a lot of people, because they probably assumed it was cancelled about 5 years ago. And who knows, maybe it should have been. It hasn't been a dignified death. But it really is no justice that this panel show, chaired and captained by fantastic comedians, is to die while celebrity juice thrives. Let's face it, it's not far from objective truth to say that is fucking unfair, and shows the chasm that separates the quality of BBC shows with ITV shows.